What's up? I'm not on my phone. Happy Thursday. I'm here. I'm alert. I'm ready to go. Kel, how are we feeling on this fine Thursday?
As you can tell, I'm ready for a drink. I just got some of the final details of the guys that bet all of my college football overs this year. We had 10 winners, which is really awesome. So we're going to be doing a party at the Barstool River North bar in Chicago, championship weekend. So that's going to be awesome. Just got kind of final confirmation on that. So I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like I'm ready for a cocktail. That could be a very long day. I fly into Chicago at 8 a.m. and the games don't even start till 2.
It could be a very long day, especially if you start drinking on the plane, which...
Well, I'm not going to start drinking on the plane. But also it's Southwest. I don't think they allow you to have booze, which is like my major beef with them. But I will say this. I might go to brunch with friends beforehand. And then...
That sounds like a great time. It really does. And congratulations to those 10 winners. I mean, hopefully they may have bet my promo too, so they show up in Barstool gear to hang out with you, and then it's a money shots party. But yeah, congratulations to those 10 guys. And how did we do yesterday? Did you you put out a play? Was that yesterday or the day? It was yesterday, right? We were both on TCU, right?
Yeah, we were both on TCU. So Wednesdays were my busy media days, if you will. And I got kind of a little carried away. I didn't tweet it out. I saw that you tweeted it out, and I was like, it's probably good enough. I'm going to lose the 5. I thought that line was going to come down. And by the time I got done with everything, I was like, all right, cool. I got 30 seconds to tweet this out. And it was a nice, easy winner. I'm glad I did not sprinkle anything on the money line. I would have been freaking furious at the end of that game. And it was like, look, this was a TCU team. Everybody asked me if I thought they were a square dog. I said, no, yeah, they have the better record. But this was a play against Oklahoma State, kind of coming off that Super Bowl-esque game, being able to beat Baylor, which was pretty incredible. Baylor back-to-back double-digit favorite losses. And, caught them in a down spot. They were able to get the win at home in Stillwater, but 5 points was too many. And felt pretty good about that.
I did too. I was happy to bring that one in. I was also happy to bring in LSU, which was complete luck. But yesterday I had a ton of people saying, do you actually like LSU or is that just a homer play? And it's 50-50. It's always going to be 50-50.
Okay.
But right now.
We know where we stand whenever Megan tweets out LSU. Did you get a new hoodie? What is this? Mine is see-through because my letters are green, so the green screen's picking it up, but that's super cute.
I have had this one for a while. We should get you one of these. It's kind of a short, it would fit you best because of how little you are. It's not like a nice.
Because of how vertically challenged you are, it'll be perfect for you. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll get with the merch girls. I do need to get some Money Shots merch before Chicago, before New York. So hopefully you guys are jumping on board as well because, it makes Megan and I look good, right? It makes this all worthwhile. And hopefully we can find you guys some winners today. I did promise on Twitter that those following along, we're going to get my NBA play first. I told Megan this, and maybe I'm going to make Megan start doing this too on show days. She tweets it out, and that's super kind of you guys, but then nobody watches. And what's the point, right? Like we do all this hard work, we spend all this time, and then you guys just go to our Twitter. Like I want you guys to come to Money Shots first, and then you guys can go to Twitter later on.
Not only do they go to the Twitter, they go and they put mean shit. And then
oh, it's ridiculous. Like I have so many people muted and I can't see their stuff unless somebody else comments. And it was funny yesterday, some guy went through and just trashed every single muted account. So then I did see them because you have to click view. And it was hilarious because it was just like all these fade memes and all this stuff. And I'm like, listen, I know college basketball has not started out great for me. I've been crushing NFL best bets. I had a really good college football season. Like fade at your own peril. Like fade Megan, she's going to go 6-0, you morons. Like, that's not how this works.
As someone commented, and I thought it was a cute comment, vertically challenged gambling superior. And I think you should maybe put that on the chart just for you. I think that's really cute. So let's get into some college basketball today. I had to wade through some shit to find some games. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not in love with my card by any means. So please do your own research. Just because I've had a winning last 2 days does not mean I'm going to have a winning third day. So by all means, please do your own research, make your own picks, maybe gather one or two from me. You don't have to play all of my picks. Because I do feel responsible when I see everyone saying we're parlaying them all. Don't do that, guys. Please.
In case you guys wondered what that weird ass noise is, my French bulldog is furious. She got locked out of my office today to do the show. I called her in. She didn't want to get her ass up. Now she is furiously banging into my door. So I may have to mute myself while Megan's talking. Don't mind me. It's way better than having children. Let me tell you. At least she can't be screaming mom outside the door, because if that damn dog can talk right now,
she'd probably cuss you out. She has a certain way that she would probably speak to you, and it would be inappropriate, and she would have to go to timeout. Coco probably has learned from the best. All right, so let's get into some college basketball today. We're going to talk about some that I have some plays on, some that are marquee games. I know, as I said, Kelly said that you have an NBA play today. Do we want to give that out now, or do you want to throw it into the middle of all of this so people have to watch the entire show?
Yeah, let's wait a little bit, Megan.
Okay, so let's start out talking Georgetown at Providence. Providence is laying 10.5. This is a big spread, and the Hoyas have not been covering. They're 0-4 ATS, their last 4. And we haven't seen Providence play for quite some time. They should still have the talent to cover the 10.5, but I'm not laying it with them right now. But I'm also not playing Georgetown either. I'm going to stay away. I guess, lean Georgetown because of how many points they're getting and how long it's been since we've seen this Providence team play. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stay away from this one. What do you think, Kel?
Yeah, Megan, this is a Georgetown team we talked about, I think, last Thursday when they played Butler. And I told you how much I love Patrick Ewing as a basketball fan growing up, but I'm not sure he's necessarily the answer in DC. And that's just because this team has some real issues defensively. The good news is offensively, they're able to control the tempo. Is Providence laying too many points tonight? Probably, right? Because as you mentioned, Georgetown has just dropped 4 straight. Nobody wants to bet Georgetown. So what's the bookmaker's job? That's to try to get you to want to bet Georgetown. And they're getting close. I think I'm going to wait maybe another game or two. We're going to see if maybe they can't pick it up a little bit defensively tonight and maybe worthy of my money. But I think this is going to be one of those really good games. If you bet it early with Providence, you might get the cover. If you're waiting until late, you're too late to the party on Providence. I think this could be a really interesting middle opportunity, similar to what we've seen with several games this year, right? If you bet it early, then you're cashing tickets. If you're betting it late, or vice versa. And these bookmakers have done a really great job with some of these college basketball numbers. And I think this is another one. I made the game 13. 14.
So would this be a late or play it down situation for you with Providence?
I think you're too late to lay it with Providence. But
okay.
I really don't want to back Georgetown right now. I need to see something from this team. And it's funny because we were talking about the games that I watched the most. And it's usually Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC. But I realized that last night watching that Alabama-LSU game, I'm like, I think I've watched 6 out of 7 of Alabama's last games, which is why, if you saw my tweet regarding our friend Adam, I was like, I knew the writing on the wall. I'm like, oh, I've seen this team. They're going to miss free throws down late. They're going to screw you over. Sorry, sucks to suck. And that's exactly what happened.
Go Tigers. We get the great teams cover, good ones win. So a lot of people didn't love that. I was excited about.
I love how Megan put her own spin on it so that my friends over at the Westgate don't send us a cease and desist.
I don't want any of those. I don't feel like talking about lawyers or lawyering up in any means. Up next, a game that I am playing is Chattanooga at UNC Greensboro. Both of these teams have played really well defensively, but I think the difference maker is going to be Chattanooga's offense. They're 64th in the country in shooting percentage at 46.1%. I think that they're going to get the job done, cover the short number. It's not super short, but 3.5. They're not great off the glass, but when they do have the opportunity to get that second opportunity, they've been fantastic. So I'm going to Chat minus the 3.5 here. Kel, you can just say, I don't feel like talking about it because I know you probably didn't even look at it.
I've been to Greensboro, North Carolina. I had a cousin that was stationed outside of there. And I wish I could say that I thought they were going to have some great home court advantage, because if they did, I would love to take the 3.5 here. I think that you've got a 14-4 Chattanooga team that looks just like, come on in, Megan. Come on in and get on board with us. We'll see how they end up playing. Unfortunately, I don't follow these smaller conferences, but if I did, I'd be curious to see how UNC Greensboro handles things at home. Again, as you mentioned, this is a really good Chattanooga team, great on offense. They slow the ball down immensely.
This game was going to be boring as fuck. Like,
it's gonna be like 65-62, and hopefully Megan gets the cover. I lied. That would be UNC Greensboro getting the cover. Let's say this: 65-61, and Megan gets the cover.
Yeah, I could probably take a nap during this game and wake up, and the score would probably still be the same. All right, so on to another game that I'm on, and I'm just fading them on the road because they've sucked dick on the road, and that is the Chanticleers. I am going to go ahead and be on Georgia Southern. I took them on the money line. This is a team that they play well at home. They're averaging 75 points per game at home. They're shooting 50% at home. As I said, it's just the money line. I need them just to win. I'm going to continue to fade the Shants until they can figure out something on the road. And yeah, so they might have my heart in football, but in basketball, y'all can keep your teal. I'll go ahead and back Georgia here, or Georgia Southern. What do you think, Kel?
Yeah, no, you're right. This team just can't get out of their own way on the road, and even sometimes at home, right? This is not a great Coastal Carolina team, just 50% basically on the year. I think you're right. I think the line is inflated because of how bad Coastal Carolina has been on the road. But I wouldn't want to back them. Why would you want to back this team? I think that there are certain times you ride these trends out. If it loses, you regroup. But as of right now, you've been fading Coastal Carolina. This week, Georgia Southern team that you've gotten to watch several times. I think it's the right play. Fade until you can't anymore. Gamble better to said Georgia Southern 5-0 at home. Coastal Carolina's 4. That's a small game sample size of this year, but you're right. I think the line reflects that. I think the line is a little too high, but I don't blame you for wanting to keep that train rolling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It just feels right in the soul, you know. Okay, on to another marquee game: Purdue, Indiana. This is an Indiana team that has not lost at home. They have been a defensive unit. And when I first looked at this game, I'm not going to lie, I had Purdue on my card originally, minus 3.5. I feel like they're the better team. I feel like they should be able to get a win here. But I'm worried about them having maybe they're a little tired after that double OT against Illinois, which Illinois we both know is a hard team to play. I am not playing this game, and as I said, I do lean Purdue. I do lean, as it's still 3.5. I like them, but the more I looked at Indiana, I just felt like they've had this game circled. They've wanted to beat Purdue. This is at home. If they're going to do anything, it's going to be there. I'm staying away.
You know, I got a lot of flack for fading this Purdue team, right? 15-2 on the season. Lost to Rutgers, which is a crazy one with TJ, and then Wisconsin a few weeks ago. And look, double overtime. They got the best of us. It was unfortunate. I thought that's where dogs go to die, but probably Purdue shouldn't have been a dog in that situation looking at that game. We got very lucky that Illinois even got it to overtime. I would love to finally get a win over this Purdue team, take Indiana. I do think the line is too high. I do think the situation, you absolutely nailed it off that double overtime on Monday. But I have my questions with this Indiana team overall. I'm not sold on this team being that elite team, right? And I'm not saying Purdue is either, but I do think that they have a leg up here. This is a Hoosiers team, well coached by Mike Woodson. I lean the better defense plus the points. We know that. I've said that 5 million times. I just don't know if I feel like getting ran over by Purdue twice in 1 week. So,
not to mention the way if Edey plays any of the way that he played against Illinois,
yeah,
I mean, he was there was not a shot that kid could not make. Like it was like line drives, threes off the glass. It didn't matter. He was eating everything, and I'm not scared. No, Kelly has not given out her NBA pick yet, so stick around. Maybe you can hear it. So do you lean Indiana, as you said, better defense?
I do lean Indiana. I'm looking at the game. I made the game 2.5. Game is currently 3.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. I would love to get involved, but as I mentioned, watching only part of that game, we were doing the show. Megan's smart and has a TV in her office. You guys got to catch her kind of freaking out. I did not, so I'm just over here refreshing. Unfortunately, I missed that second half. And like I mentioned, these are a lot of games that I finally get to start catching up on and watching these teams and seeing that tempo live, seeing how the defensive players made. That's why I knew Alabama was going to miss those field goals or free throws. I mean, because how did I not know? I'd already seen it so many times before. They live and die on the free throw line, and it's one of those things. We'll see. Maybe I might tweet it out if it's 4, maybe 3.5. Right now, I'm just kind of hanging tight. Let's see where it goes. I think Purdue is going to get all the money in this situation. Maybe we can't get lucky with the home dog.
All right, I'm going to give out one more college basketball play. Then I think we should give out your NBA, and then we'll hop back on to college basketball. So up next, I'm going to go ahead and give out SMU at Memphis plus the 6. SMU is a veteran team, and I think that veteran team shows up in Memphis. Memphis, well, they are athletic, well, they are talented. They have not had a cohesive lineup. They've put different lineups out almost every game, which should reflects in their record 9-6 or something like that. I like this SMU team. I think it's too many points. They might get the outright win, although I remember last time I was high on SMU and thinking they would get the outright win. It was so awful for me. They lost by like 20. But I do still like them here, plus the 6 in this spot. Just again, no continuity within that Memphis lineup. I think that SMU is able to cover the 6. What do you think about that one, Kel?
Yeah, Megan, it looks weird, right? I'm like, what am I missing here? Why is SMU getting 6 points? Is this like the trap game of the day or what? And I'm not sure this Memphis team is capable of being a favorite, right? Like, I know SMU isn't ranked currently, right? But this has all those makings of a stinky underdog, like a trendy underdog, and that's SMU. But I kind of thought that last night with LSU and our friend Adam that was on Bama. I'm like, dude, 4.5. Now it's like getting out of control. Luckily, I had a 3.5 with Bama because that's when he texted to me. I really don't think there's any way I could lay 6 with Memphis at this point in time. As you mentioned, 9-7 on the year, decent offense, decent defense, but this is a SMU team that should just be getting all the money, right? I have them ranked in the top 60 of the power ratings. Man, this offense looks like it could be pretty good. I think you're right. Jankovic is a good coach. I lean SMU with you, and too many points.
Cole Gunnerman, they're 9-6 or something like that. Dynamite analysis. Sorry, I do not have everything pulled up in front of me. I just have this piece of paper that's got a couple of things scribbled down. So whenever you have a show and you are doing stuff, you can be
like Brandon Walker and just sit there with your laptop the entire show.
I've been calling into his show just to fuck with him. Just to stop the Brandon
That
Walker.
is the whole show. We need to just. I can't wait. Maybe I'll text Brandon and be like, "Hey, can I get on the show while I'm in New York?
I'm sure last night
once again."
Last night whenever I called him, he's like, "You're talking to the best college football better in the history of Barstool," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I called Kelly," and he didn't love that. But
oh no! Is that why he doesn't return my text messages? Did I do something wrong?
No, I think he's just jealous. I think that you can pick winners and he can't, and he has a show on Sling, and you don't.
I mean, but he's really good at trivia.
Yep. Yeah. But trivia is trivia, and gambling is gambling. One makes you money, and the other's just for fun.
I mean, maybe he needs to go on Jeopardy.
Exactly. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can go back and host, and Brandon Walker can just argue with Aaron Rodgers the whole time. All right. Up next, another semi-marquee game, if you will. USC at Colorado. Colorado is catching 2 at home. And this USC team has started the year hot, like when going 13-0. Sorry if that's not the exact stats. But then they've dropped 2 out of their last 3.
Megan, from now on, I just want you to just go off and be like, they're like 14 and maybe like 9 on this. I just want you to throw out like random shit. Make sure people are paying attention.
Yeah. But and USC is probably going to look for a bounce back spot here against Colorado. But I don't know if Colorado is necessarily a team that you bounce back against. I don't have a play here. I do lean the Buffaloes. Plus the 2 at home, but I couldn't get there. What do you think, Kel?
I think I'm going to probably be on Colorado by the time it's all said and done. The more I looked at this morning when you asked me if I had played anything, and that's why I tweeted I hadn't played anything yet. This is a really good defense. Colorado, Tad Boyle, don't want to give him too much praise just yet, but I think so far this year he's done a pretty good job with this team. And you mentioned USC bounce back, and I think that's going to be the narrative here, Megan. Everybody is going to expect them to bounce back off that Oregon loss at home. But something to consider, and I know that it's indoors, but Colorado still has altitude. It's still a tough place to play. It's still travel. And it's not easy right now for these kids, especially schools from California. They do not make it easy on them. I lean the Buffs here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the window. Some sharp money came in from 2.5 down to 2. So now I'm like, damn it, I'm late to the party. I always do that. I know the hooks don't matter until they do. And let me tell you, they matter to me way more than they should. By the way, that first half bet last night, Megan, had 2. I had +2 first half. I'm sorry, I had -2 first half for Bama. They give up a 4-point play with a second left. They're 25%, LSU's 25% 3-point shooter hits a 3-point bomb and gets fouled. Like, look, fine, I'll take the push. But I know all of my friends had a 2.5. They were melting down. It didn't end up mattering, but that half point does matter to me. And it is something that I do want you guys to consider. It's, whether you shop around, whether you're late to the party, sometimes the best bets you can make are not any bets at all. But yes, I do lean Colorado.
That game last night, if we would have played 3 more minutes, LSU would have won outright. Just want to throw that out there.
I actually was cheering for overtime. But...
and Will Wade in his text, he just needs to chill the fuck out. I love you, Will, but no more texts, please, okay? Let's save those for the players who are actually out there and angry. All right, Kelly, give us your NBA play.
So the NBA is interesting. If you guys remember, my very first play I gave out at Barstool was an NBA play, and it was because I was fading the narrative. And that team that I was fading, the Phoenix Suns. And I had somebody tweet me yesterday, and they asked me, Kelly,
no?
What's that?
Suns and 4? No?
Yeah, those people. And it was really fun because I like to buck some of those trends, right? And I had somebody tweet me yesterday, Kelly, how come we haven't been doing NBA? And I'm like, football season has been so good. Had a really nice wild card weekend. Kind of wanted to replicate that again. And I had some extra time this morning, and I thought, you know what? I'll look at this NBA card because it's pretty light. And sure enough, here's the Suns. The whole world loves the Suns. Of course they do. This is one of the best teams in the league. They've won 7 of their last 8. They have a great offense. They're averaging 112 points per game. I love Devin Booker. Who doesn't? But now we're going to go back to that good old Kelly narrative. That's right. The better defense plus the points. Dallas is just allowing 102.7 points a game. That's 3rd in the NBA. And I do think that they are going to come to play tonight. Dallas 10-1 straight up in their last 11 games. I know Phoenix has been on a fucking tear. But as you guys know, I love to step in front of these freight trains. This is what I do, right? This is like how I like to punish myself in some weird sort of masochistic type of way. And so I'm going to take the Mavs tonight. I think you can still get 3 at the Barstool Sportsbook as last I looked right before the show started. So don't take the 2.5 when there are 3s available. But I almost kind of want to give this little thing out. And I've kind of talked to some different people, and people will do this during baseball season, hockey. Well, they'll split a little bit on the money line versus the puck line. And my boy Ski's been doing this as well, but with the NBA. And so he's splitting these short numbers, whether it's 2.5, 3, 3.5, anything under 5, where he's doing half of his bet on the spread and the other half on the money line. And I probably won't go that far, but I think this is worth a 75-25% play. So I did take the +3, and then I did do more than what my normal sprinkle on the money line would be.
And fun fact, Devin Booker is from a town near where I grew up, over in Moss Point, Mississippi. So
okay.
Shout out to the coast of Mississippi.
I would have never guessed he was from Mississippi.
Right? Crazy. All right, jumping back into college basketball. So for those of you that are talking about football, we're getting it to football tomorrow. Don't worry. Just give us our time. Football is tomorrow. Let's finish college basketball today. Up next, we have Arizona at Stanford. Stanford is catching 11.5 at home. But this is an Arizona team that literally does fucking everything right. Like, they are just, whether it's assists, rebounds, shooting, defense, tempo, like, it doesn't matter. They're just absolute freaks. Meanwhile, you have Stanford that has kind of been like a quiet giant killer, taking out USC and Oregon. So is Stanford going to be able to take out Arizona? I don't think so. But I will not be playing this game, and I still lean Arizona minus the chalk eating weasel. But I can't get to the window on this because I really do. I would love for Stanford to cover. I would love for them to take out another humongous team. I think that would be totally cool, but I'm not putting my money on it.
I wanted to talk about this game for our producer, David Blattman. He's a huge Arizona guy. Shout out to Jack as well. I was waiting for people to jump on my ass in the comments, but I'm such a bad liar that I can't keep a straight face. So anyway, I did want to talk about this game for both of those guys. And this is a really solid Arizona Wildcats team. As you guys know, their one loss, I bet against them. I did take Tennessee. And Blattman was like, why are you doing this to me? And it wasn't anything personal. It really wasn't. But Megan, you mentioned this is a Stanford team that is not only undefeated at home, and they have knocked out some really great teams, including the undefeated USC Trojans last week, where they were just a 7-point underdog, right? And Ingram had a great game. I think this line is too high. Now, as I mentioned, I need Ingram to have another great game.
This line is too damn high.
And that's something he hasn't done since they beat USC. So that's kind of where I have this circled, right? Because he went 3 from 12 and only scored 11 points in the last 2 games, right? So the question is he going to step up for another big game here? And I think he will. This is going to be one of those games that the Cardinals should be able to keep it close. Do I think they're worth a money line sprinkle? Given their past history, I do. But the 11 is too many points. I made this game 8.5. So I was kind of surprised to see this line come out that high. And I get it. Arizona's owned the Stanford team for years. But man, Stanford's been on a little bit of a tear. And I think that they deserve just a little bit more respect in the marketplace. Had they not just lost on the road to Washington, I think that they would be getting more respect. But I think it was because they were kind of looking ahead to this game. Just the thought process there that kind of goes through my head. They have Arizona State on deck. So I do like Stanford tonight. I am probably going to get to the window. And if I do, I'll tweet it out.
Perfect. Last up, we have San Fran at the Zags. Zags, last time I looked, were laying 16, but I feel like I've looked and they were 14 and they were 16. Next game, 46. I don't know. It's absolutely.
They're 16 insane. And a half currently right now at the Barstool Sportsbook. How high are the bookmakers going to make this line?
Probably higher than I am. So I don't. I don't know. JK, I would never ever be like that before I would come on the show. That's so silly. I would never give you guys gambling advice like that. That's not me. But yeah, so the Zags, 16 and a half. Ugh. I don't know, man. I don't think I can lay 16 and a half, even though I feel like they could definitely cover it. They obviously are able and willing to go out there and just fucking kick ass. But 16 and a half, Kel? Is this a lay it or don't play it? Or do you think San Fran could maybe sneak in there?
This is a Gonzaga team that absolutely deserves to be number 1 in the country right now. I have them power rated number 1. They're not. The problem is this, and this is what I said a couple weeks ago. The West Coast Conference is Gonzaga and everybody else. I would love to make a case right now, for San Francisco. I really, really would. 16 and a half points is way too many. This team has a solid defense. Yes, they're off that loss to BYU, so I think that's kind of built into this line because the line should be 13. Do I want to step in front of the Zags? Not necessarily. They've covered 5 of their last 6. This is a Zags team that I think is going to be more of and don't quote me on this because this is me going off the last couple of years. They were so much better in the first half. If you remember, they went on that tear where they'd be up 30 at halftime, and then their opponent would kind of come in and they would get backdoored a lot. And that was the last 2 years. But I do think that's kind of the same scenario here. If you like the Zags, I think you play them in the first half. They're going to come out hot because
what is the first half? It's 8?
Nah, it's probably higher than that. Let me look it up at the Barstool Sportsbook now that I'm giving it out. But it's the truth. You want to – I really think that people need – with some of these bigger teams, you want to look at some of these first half lines. And you want to kind of keep an eye on some of the trends here and see how these teams are actually playing. The current first half line, oh, that's the game line. Way to go, Kelly. Don't even know how to use your own sports book. Why can't I get into the first half line? That being said, I need to do it on the app versus the computer. But this is a Gonzaga team that I think if you like them, you play them in the first half. I do think that they're going to go on that early tear against, they're not going to overlook San Francisco. It'd be different if San Francisco was 3-15 on the year, but they're 15-3. They're the second best team in the West Coast Conference. I think this is for a chance for Gonzaga just to put on an absolute clinic, but I do like the Dons defense. I lean with the Dons, but if you like Gonzaga.
First half. I found it. It was 9.
Sorry. 9. Okay, there we go.
All right, so you were saying you think the Dons could possibly pull it out full game, but if you're going to play the Zags, you'd play them first half.
Yeah, that's just how I see this game playing out, Megan, is that Gonzaga comes out hot, leaves the back door open. Look, if you like you said, you saw 14s earlier. If you like the Zags, you should have laid 14. At 16.5, you're way too late. And that's where the bookmakers are going to get people, right? These lines come out the night before. They're called overnights for a reason. And that's because they want to see where the real money's coming in at. They want to know how to move these lines. And so if you're waiting until 3 minutes before tip-off to bet these games, that you're the ideal customer.
Yep, you're the ideal customer. All right, that is pretty much all. Oh, wait, no, I have one more. I totally skipped over. I'm also taking Tennessee State. They're coming off a win. They're playing Southeastern Missouri State, who they've already beaten. Southeastern Missouri State hasn't played in like 3 weeks or some shit. They're plus 2.5. I don't understand the line at all, which means it's probably going to end up kicking my ass. But yeah, Tennessee State was my last play. I wanted to throw that out there real quick.
All right, go Tigers, because that's all I got.
Go Tigers!
I can't tell you any teams from the Ohio Valley this year. That is not even a conference that I've even Googled.
That's what I said. I waded through a lot of shit today to try to find these games, and like the other day, my 6-0 day was like not even like I just saw them and then it came to me. I was actually texting Adam and I was like, tell me not to add on who was it, Baylor and whoever else it was that I added on. And he was like, I don't know. I feel like you're paying a premium on Baylor. I was like, as the public, me, I don't mind paying the premium. So that ended up really nice. But today I waded through a lot of shit to try to find these games. So hopefully, fingers crossed, end up in my favor. And hopefully Kelly's NBA pick that is probably around minute mark 17. You could probably go and find that. But maybe it's not 17. Maybe it's at 7. Maybe it's at 30. Who knows?
You guys know Megan just loves to throw out random numbers at this point.
it's just I'm the best statistician. Is that what it's called?
Statistician? Yes, Megan the statistician.
Exactly.
It is funny because I hated certain math classes in college. Stats 1 kicked my ass. Stats 2, I got to integrate sports betting in baseball, and all of a sudden it just started to make sense to me, but I'm definitely not a statistician.
Hey, we got a super sticker. I don't know what that means. It just came up red.
Somebody gave us 99 cents.
Oh, cool. Wow! Free roll, baby. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow to talk about the NFL. Hopefully, as I said, y'all, please do your own research. All of my games, I have 5 out. Don't parlay them. Don't put them all. Don't just go do your own research. And also, you can do your own research on Kelly's one NBA pick, but I'm tailing her blindly. So, love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Money Shots, and we'll talk about our football picks.